Welcome to The Point of View. It's been a very turbulent week, starting from Saturday night, actually, with music awards, controversies, and left jabs. And then, of course, there are court cases. Now we're entering another controversy. So these days, the controversies don't take more than a week. They are competing for attention. So before Stonebwoy and Shatta Wale would take their glory, the baby jet stepped in. So sent a letter on the 20th of May that he was essentially leaving the Black Stars over captaincy issues. And in a rapid-fire series of events, he's not only rescinded his decision, he's been reinstated as general captain. And we're hoping for redemption in Egypt in a month's time. But that's just a part of the story. The Point of View is live and interactive. You can get in touch on the topics on the WhatsApp number on the screen. You can also send your views to us via Facebook. If you're watching, there's a lot of conversation going on down there. And of course, our hashtag is The Point of View. I have a crack pair of journalists to help us unravel the baby jet Black Stars conundrum. Stay with us. So The Point of View is trying to examine the state of the Black Stars. And a few moments before we got on air, Kwesi Appiah, who was the captain in 92, when we narrowly lost to Ivory Coast, released his list. And his rival at the time, his firstborn son, is his captain. Very interesting twist. But the list of 29 has been released. My two guests will help us understand all of this. They'll take us through the journey. Micheal Oti Adjei is a leading sports journalist in the country with TV3, but he also writes for the BBC and other important news outlets. I always call him up when I have difficult sports topics to discuss. Micheal, great to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
As simple and straightforward as ever. And then I have the Black Chinese. He used to be a full-time sports journalist. These days, he's head of current affairs at City. But sports is his first love. And his Twitter hashtag handle is East Sportsman. He's also part administrator of a football team. We'll talk about that. Godfred, great to have you.
It's always a pleasure speaking to you about sports.
These are times journalists love. We haven't finished Shatta Wale, there's Asamoah Gyan, and by Friday something else will come up.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me. So it's a great time to be a sports journalist. Micheal, how turbulent for sports have the past 3 days been?
I've seen a lot of this happen in the past.
Okay.
This has been on a completely different scale.
Wow.
I think, first of all, I never expected that a week will happen this way. I think there's a WhatsApp group that myself and Akoto belong to. And when the first statement went out on that platform that Gyan had rescinded his decision to play for the Black Stars, the first question I asked Gyan's manager was whether indeed this was true. Then I checked his Twitter feed, which is a verified account, and I discovered it was true. It was the last thing I expected.
Wow.
And off the back of that, then on Tuesday, I got to understand the story a bit better. So essentially, this was a player who was unhappy about not being captain. The gravity hit me even a bit more. I've had conversations with Kwesi Appiah, who is a bit miffed by the way everything has happened. On the scale of the way things have happened in terms of players saying I will not play anymore and the controversy around it, this has to be the biggest. And I think to understand it, you have to put the personality of Gyan and his influence on the team within context. You also have to put the timing within context. This is effectively a few days before the team goes to Abu Dhabi for pre-tournament campaign on June 1st. This is the captain of the team. This is the record goal scorer at international level, 51 in about 105 games.
So one goal every 2 matches.
Exactly. It's world-class standard by every measure. This is a player who has been speaking of wanting to earn a lot of years of Nations Cup heartache. He was preparing for it. Asamoah has basically prepared himself throughout the season to be ready for the Nations Cup.
Wow.
And he's spoken in the past about wanting to help Ghana lift the trophy. I spoke to him after a game against Congo. Then he was told by Kwesi Appiah on Sunday that, I'm sorry, you will not be my captain. He didn't understand it. And as discussions were ongoing about between Kwesi Appiah and management members, then they realized that a statement had gone out.
Wow.
From Asamoah Gyan.
He was that angry?
He was angry. we'll get into what that reveals about his personality and everything. But he's put everybody in the most awkward of situations. And, I saw Sami Kufuor through a bit of tantrums in 2002. It required was then President Kufuor to talk him back into the team. Then we had Dede Ayew and Jordan Ayew who said they wouldn't play again because in 2013 when Appiah was the coach as well, he said to the players, everybody must arrive within a certain period. That was the period when you needed permission. You in the middle of the season, and they wanted to play a game and arrive the following day, and the coach didn't agree. So it became a major issue, and it's something that dogged the team throughout the competition. But nothing on this scale. Nothing on the scale.
So this has been the biggest.
This has been the biggest, and everything that points out to the personalities at the meeting with the president yesterday, the swiftness of the statement, Jan's U-turn, the immense social media reaction, the environment we're in now makes this quite a big
considerable deal. National disquiet was the president's choice of words.
I was a bit surprised. I think maybe they sort of misread the mood. There was an argument I had with somebody about where the strength of public opinion was weighing towards. Now, a lot of the things I saw, and it's difficult to understand these things because ideally, if you, Bernard, you're tweeting and your tweets seem to veer towards a certain direction, it's likely that it's people who agree with your point of view who are going to be responding to it. So I can understand. But I have not sensed
a considerable
disquiet
public disquiet.
I have sensed an exasperation, a feeling that these players are over-pampered and that maybe the president, in calling Jan to have that discussion, was overindulging him.
Wow. I would really like viewers to tell me a few things. What do you feel about Jan? Is he a national hero that we have not celebrated enough, we've been too harsh on, or is he essentially too pampered or somewhere within the middle? What do you think about the Black Stars? I sense an ambivalence towards the team. They've disappointed a lot of people for many years. So we'd like to hear from you on the show on what you think of the Black Stars. But before I take you on the Jan time warp that we've quickly put together, Godfred, you're a Dansoman boy.
Proudly.
And you are a Liberty man.
Yes, proudly.
And then, of course, the man who discovered Jan, Asian, and all these people, you knew him very well.
Yes.
So you can tell us, you didn't go to Accra, that's the only problem.
Yes.
But you can tell us.
Well, I've known Jan since he was 15.
Yeah. What is going on with him? What's happening with him? Is he angry? Is he...
Well, I haven't spoken to him personally. I've spoken to people close to him.
Yeah.
In fact, yesterday I spoke to his teammate to find out what has been going on with him, and he said he could understand Jan's anger in the sense that, and but this is a point that he was making, that Jan knew he had struggled with his fitness the entire season, but he felt he had been building up quite well towards the AFCON and was really looking forward to it, and was prepared mentally and physically to participate in it. And so once that conversation was had between himself and Kwesi Appiah, it basically upset him considerably. And he complained to everybody who would listen about it. Serious plans out of work. But again, we will get into all of these things, further into the conversation. But Asamoah Gyan he's a complex person. He's a very proud person. He likes the adulation that he gets from his achievements. And so far as he's concerned, the biggest achievement he has is the fact that he captains his country and that he has captained it. And there is also an understanding that he will bow out on his own terms. And he had made up his mind that after this AFCON, he was going to announce a retirement.
He has selected his...
Yes. So
he's designed the movie and he's like...
Director, producer, everything.
So he's planned everything out. I go there, I announce my retirement.
Probably score a hat-trick in the final game, hand over the tournament and the captain's band to somebody else and go.
Fairy tale ending, and then you are called and you're told you're going to this tournament, but not as captain, as general captain. So that dream of lifting up the trophy, perhaps you might have to share that joy, that responsibility with somebody. If it does happen, you might have to share responsibilities of being a captain at a tournament with somebody. Then basically the general captain is a backroom role. It's not a front row kind of job.
So it's not an on-the-pitch role.
Yes, and this is somebody who has been the face of the national team for over a decade. That was going to change at this tournament. It's not something that you give up quite easily. So you can understand what was going through his mind. If you're talking about when you get to an AFCON, that is when you see the varying degrees of players. When Asamoah Gyan is in a car and he arrives at a press conference, you can see the buzz with journalists. Wow. There are other players who will show up and there isn't even enough attention. Nobody wants to go. For instance, if an email arrives of the press conference tomorrow and we check it, Asamoah Gyan is not coming. You go there, maybe there are 3 journalists sitting there.
Really?
But if an Asamoah Gyan is there, you might have a full house because he's engaging. He's that kind of person. And he revels in that. He knows what he's doing with that. So to have all that suddenly threatened by
so
the
you are
coach
saying he's a genuine superstar.
Oh,
he
yes.
is on the level of Samuel Eto'o, Didier Drogba, the names that
matter.
If you mention anywhere in the world, anybody who knows football knows Asamoah Gyan.
Definitely.
He doesn't need to tell you, my name is Asamoah Gyan from Ghana.
He doesn't. You don't need to mention 2 names.
If he says Asamoah,
if you say Gyan, everybody knows what you're talking about. So you just need to say Gyan.
I'll ask you to do some ranking of African football talent for me, but I want to do it a bit more exciting. So I'm going to show you. I was wondering, in 2008, Asamoah Gyan was heavily criticized.
Yeah.
And there was a time he and his brothers were living at Black Stars. So I wanted to walk through some of the controversies he's been through to get viewers to understand a bit more about where he's come from. So Fento Tairu put this together on Gyan and the Black Stars. He has some interesting goals as well.
Yeah.
So grab a drink and watch this one.
Hate him or love him, Asamoah Baby Jet Gyan, since busting into the scene in 2003, has been arguably Ghana's most iconic footballer in the last 20 years.
Here we are, 90 minutes up into added time. And from Sunderland to Wonderland for the northeast-based Asamoah Gyan.
51 goals in 106 appearances for the Black Stars makes him the nation's greatest ever forward. He's Africa's leading striker in the history of the World Cup.
Now that's hooked forward. Here's a chase for Gyan. He's 1-on-2. It is Gyan. He's in the area. He scores! Ghana are back in front. A goal of individual brilliance from Asamoah Gyan. Taking it on the chest, beating off Demerit, blasting it past Howard. Great goal from Gyan for Ghana.
With 6 goals across 3 World Cup tournaments in 2006, 2010 and 2014. But all that success and respect have also come with some controversy. On the pitch, he's remembered for missing an injury time penalty against Uruguay in 2010. But off the pitch, Gyan has been involved in several episodes with the national team that has left sour taste in many people's mouths. His first one was in 2008, when he and his brother, Boafo, threatened to leave the national team after coming under excessive criticism for his display in an AFCON group game against Namibia. It took the intervention of the president, Oti Adjei, for them to return to the Black Stars camp. 4 years later, though, the episode repeated itself. This time, Gyan retired from the national team after fan outbursts following a penalty miss against Zambia in the Africa Cup of Nations. On the 20th of May 2019, Gyan walked away again from the national team and made a quick U-turn in less than 48 hours later. Gyan stated that he would not be part of the team if another player was named captain, despite his presence and availability. The president, Nana Akufo-Addo, had to intervene and urge the player to rescind his decision and rejoin the team. But why did Gyan consider leaving the team if he would not be named captain? Perhaps the answer lies in the rumors of a perceived feud between him and Andre Ayew. Gyan has always denied the existence of the said feud and has consistently said he shared a great working relationship with Andre. But in his statement on Monday, he seemed to confirm all the rumors by saying that if he was available to play, he was unwilling to share the captain's armband with another player. Back in 2017, he had a customized armband made for him to mark his 100th appearance for the Black Stars, while Andre Ayew wore another armband in the same match against Ethiopia in Kumasi. While the action was seen as controversial by fans of the team, Black Stars head coach Kwesi Appiah sided with his player at the time. But things have changed now, with Appiah wanting someone new to lead the team on the field during the 2019 AFCON tournament, while Gyan supervises off the pitch as what is generally referred to as general captain. This is the role Gyan rejected and walked away. But back in 2013, he was a direct beneficiary of that particular arrangement. With John Mensah made general captain, Gyan became substantive Black Stars captain for the first time. Gyan is undoubtedly a very influential player in the national team, and he's been involved in some of the most trying times of the team as well. Most notably, during the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, when he had to lace between the team and the president over unpaid bonuses. He's very respected by his peers, but one wonders what his actions in the last 3 days will mean for the team ahead of the 2019 AFCON. That can only be answered by head coach Kwesi Appiah. With the intervention of the president, Gyan is very likely to get a place in the team for the AFCON in Egypt. But the head coach Kwesi Appiah will have to handle the playing body well to avoid any conflicts that could derail Ghana's bid to win its first African title since 1982.
So many subplots there. I need to say, though, that the goal against US was my best goal. Yeah. Was it Kevin assist?
No, it was. I think the goal against US, yes, was long. Kevin, it was a Dede Ayew assist. It was almost a miss hit that
chested the ball, let it bounce.
But I have to say,
half volley.
Yes, and I have to say, remarkable work by Fen too, because I personally think it captures the essence of who Gyan is. The quality of goals, the immense personality. The picture with the president speaks of a long-term relationship. Beyond that, it's also, I personally think he mentioned the off-field controversies. It's sort of something that captures exactly who Gyan is. So, excellent reports.
Why so many controversies? Is it we Ghanaians who like disturbing our stars? Or is it that Gyan himself is... Because almost every year there's something.
But you don't hear off-field controversies about the DIU.
You don't.
You don't hear off-field controversies about Jonathan Mensah, about Asamoah. At least it never becomes.
But they are not as his level. No, Asamoah Gyan
not necessarily. But the controversies that is dog Gyan, whether he's disputing the paternity of his kids, are things of his own making. There are no issues that I think the players forget something. If anybody came to me with a story about Gyan, i.e., do you know how long this story about Gyan and the paternity of his kids and the controversy went on behind the scenes before it became a public issue? The players get something wrong. As journalists, we've almost become invested. You become friends with them. Godfred mentioned he's known Asamoah since he was 15. I covered his first game against Somalia in Kumasi. And I remember very well, they were staying at Micheal Hotel in Kumasi. But I covered that first game. I watched him every step of the way. I've been with him literally in every Black Stars camp. We are humans. We develop a natural affinity to these people. So we don't set out to make you look bad. But what do you do as journalists? What do you do as the people of Ghana if he gets into that controversy with Sarah Kobler? Do you throw away all that professional training?
Just because
immense mileage he gives. So he sort of plays into our hands.
He courts controversy sometimes by his actions.
And I think this week is a perfect example of that. How many of us, with our thinking caps on, we've been saying consistently, I've been saying consistently that we should never beg a player to play for the Black Stars. I've said we over-pamper players, and we saw it in 2014. So how do I juxtapose that to a player who wakes up one morning and says, unless I am captain, I'm not playing? This is the best example of the over-pampering, the overindulgence, the fact that this national team that's ours, it's almost like you appointing somebody to serve him as a minister. He is not doing you a favor. And I always like to make this example. Our national team is it's not necessarily one of the most glamorous in terms of what it wins. National teams the world over have adopted a strategy to make players as comfortable as possible. Number one, you never travel for economy. You travel business class.
All the time.
All the time. Purely for sporting reasons, because you are more comfortable when you are.
You can stretch your legs.
Exactly. And the poor ones can go and sit at the back. Number two is that I really would be interested in tabulating, for instance, the financial benefits Jan has had from playing for the Black Stars. I'm counting bonuses, I'm counting per diems.
Because some countries don't pay players for playing for the national team.
2014, 100,000. 2012, about 80,000 plus brand new cars.
Cedis or dollars?
80,000. 2014, 2013.
Cedis?
2012 dollars.
For every player?
Yeah. Yes. When we go to the finals.
Wow.
We give them brand new cars worth $75,000 in that controversy. I covered the build up to the 2008 tournament, and even before they came, they had been paid a significant amount of money. We've used money to build up this national team. We've made a collective decision that this is an embodiment of our prestige as a country. And we've given the players a free platform. Even if you look at Jan, 2008 bad tournament, I want to know how many countries don't they criticize players for missing chances. The players say we are hard on them. I say they are hard on the fans. I watch a football game. I've invested my time. I've seen people in places like Brazil and the rest who have left their jobs and are just following the Black Stars. I've never had calls in the manner that I've had this week because it's about Asamoah Gyan. Would I get a call from the president if I had a problem at work? No. But this is Gyan. This is the Black Stars. It rubs all of us on all of us in a different way. And I really think that too many times the players don't understand that. And I think this week, unfortunately for Gyan, instead of convincing the rest of us after Brazil that they have become aware and in tune with the public spirit and everything, he gave us everything we didn't want again.
Godfred, do you think the president in intervening has worsened our chances in winning the tournament?
Not at all. But what we will be deceiving ourselves about is that the players will not talk about it. The players will talk about it the first day they enter camp. The players will choose.
Talking about it.
The players will choose sides when they enter camp.
So their sides. So if it hadn't gone for the tournament, would it have been a united Black Stars?
The likelihood of it, you see, you don't need to go into camp with drama and issues, because in a national team camp like ours, it takes very little to spark trouble. And this particular issue is one that by all means will spark trouble, because you see, the thing is this: if Asamoah Gyan goes and he's there and he's in a bad mood, it rubs off certain players. That means that a technical person might call a player and the player might give a rude retort. Or perhaps Asamoah Gyan himself might be called to do something and he might be unwilling to participate in an exercise or something. Will you be able to gauge at what point is he at 100% or is he at 80%? And all these things tend to build negative energy in a team camp. And like I said, when it comes to the Black Stars and their camp, it takes very little to build this kind of drama. So going into a tournament like this, you have players who are asking themselves, who is in charge? Who do I talk to when there's a problem? Because they are now going to negotiate for bonuses, have conversations
so up
about all
until
kinds
now,
of things.
he's been the leader of the team.
He's the undoubted leader of the team.
In the team bus, in negotiations.
I think when maybe on hindsight, Gyan should have seen this coming, though. Remember when he went to the presidency with Dede Ayew to go and discuss the bonus, the
increase in bonuses
and that sort of thing. There will be a lot of tension.
Yeah.
Generally the build up to the tournament is a lot of tension. The training camp in Abu Dhabi is tension. It's everybody wanting to get into that squad. So the training is more intense. The tackles can get
very hard.
Yes, it's not very friendly.
And I've seen players
Because six of them have to drop.
Yeah, I've seen players literally get into physical fights before because somebody thinks that your tackle could end their careers. And regardless of what these players I always say, wearing the national team jersey with the whole world watching, they know the Nations Cup is going to be huge in this country, spread across television platforms, the major talking point. Everybody wants to go. And Godfred is right. The other thing that I worry about, though, is that in the scheme of things, a national team camp is an intimate environment, not in terms of the physical structure, but in terms of the atmosphere that you create. So, number one, you never eat alone.
Always a group.
Yes.
Exactly. It's a group culture. If you're late for lunch, you pay. If you're late for dinner, you pay. If you're late for breakfast, you pay. All the players live on the same floor as a rule so that they can be properly monitored. The coach is having constant meetings. And I'm looking at this situation where the coach and the captain, and if he's having to do discussions, whoever he appoints as the deputy captain will go into those meetings with the general captain as a sign of respect. So you can imagine the fractured mood that will be in there. And that, for me, is the biggest challenge for Kwesi Appiah in this tournament. It will not be tactical. It will not be anything. It will just be how he's able to put a lid on all those inflated egos and how he's able to get. Because, in 2014, a lot of people speak about money and there is our problem in 2014 was not money.
What was it?
It was too many big egos not getting into the team who couldn't handle it. And they were major negative forces behind the scenes. They wouldn't take instructions. They were not happy at playing. They were sorry of how players' mood change immediately. Because if you are in a Black Stars camp, one of the things we do first, if you go and watch training, we are looking for who is wearing a bib and who is not wearing.
Those wearing the bib are those who will be on the bench.
Sometimes you can tell. The moment you go to the training grounds,
you can just tell
after
from the
5
facial
minutes,
expressions.
you have a fair idea who is playing and who is
Those
not.
who are not playing are not happy.
Those who are playing are not happy. They are separated into different sides. You can check from which defenders are on one side, that he's just practicing defending against which set of midfielders are there, and you can tell from the attitude of specific players if they are playing or not.
So there are a lot of... We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll try and understand where this leaves Kwesi Appiah. We'll also try and ask ourselves, so what are our chances? We've missed this by a hair's breadth a few years. 2015 was close, 2010 was close, 92 was close. Will this be an irony where, with all the confusion, we could win it like Cameroon did the last time around? This is the point of view. Stay with us.
For all you lovers of music, great performances and the thrill of reality shows as they unfold before our eyes. The 4th edition of your favorite music reality show, Voice Factory, is underway. 10 contestants will be battling it out in the 13-week competition for the grand prize of 10,000 Ghana cedis and a chance to be named Ghana's next big music star.
Okay, everybody listen up.
Don't miss the live performance episodes on City TV and City FM, Saturdays at 7 p.m. Who will be crowned the winner of the 4th edition of Voice Factory? Voice Factory is powered by City TV with support from City FM. Voice Factory, just discover. Audition episodes air Saturday, 25th May 2019. Voice Factory is sponsored by Bettermode.
Oh, my Lord, please come lay your hands on me.
For regular news checks as they unfold. 2020 news, all day, all the time. Politics, sports, entertainment, business, and more. 2020 news, we bring you the world in 20 minutes.
Welcome back to The Point of View. A few of you are asking me to show more football. I will. We'll talk about Asamoah Gyan's best moments and whether Ghana can win the tournament. So stay with us. We'll show you some nice goals. And I have a lot of your messages, so let me just try and read a few. Dominic from Pokwasi says, Bernard, there's no doubt the president meant well in his intervention, but it undermines the authority of the coach, which is likely to spell doom for the team. If things should go wrong, which is highly probable, its negative snowball effect will definitely roll down to his doorstep at the presidency. Let's be careful in making the presidency an extension of the technical team. It will save this nation a lot. Bernard, good evening to your panelists. The Bible tells us to give what belongs to Caesar and what belongs to God. Yes, indeed, Gyan has put Ghana on the map with his performances internationally. He's paid his dues and Ghanaians must give him that respect. But to decide to retire from the national team because of captaincy, that's below the belt for me and a sign of pride in him. His reputation is at stake if he doesn't perform in this tournament. Sami from Kofori Dua. Johnson Mauli in Agona Duakwa. Kwesi Apia's integrity is bleeding. And if it's me, I'll resign because how can Baby Jet tell the coach how things should be then? Thank you. Good evening. Please, is the captaincy an inheritance? The president has no business interfering on the Black Stars affair. This is Yakubu in Medina. Bernard, so now is Kwesi Apia the one who is going to control the camp of Asamoah Gyan? This is Uncle C who wants to know. So you said a lot about Kwesi Apia. Quick one, guys. On purely football grounds, does Gyan have a place in that team? Because from the way the coach gave the indication, Gyan was supposed to be on the bench. He's not going to be on the pitch all the time. Where is he playing now? Turkey?
Yeah, Kayserispor.
Second league, first division?
Yes.
How many games has he played this season?
He hasn't played too many. I don't
Is he match fit? Is he tournament
fit? That's the point I was making to you. Gyan hasn't had the best of seasons. It's been an injury-ravaged season. But in the past month, and there was always an inkling that he wouldn't make the squad. Assad, a month or so ago, there had been conversations about Gyan not going at all because his fitness would not have allowed him. He was simply not match fit enough. And even at club level, he was going through a process. But in the past month, things picked up. His fitness had improved. He had started making substitute appearances. He was getting minutes. So this was somebody who moved from playing 4 or 5 minutes to playing 20, 30 minutes.
But 4 games all season is very small.
It's a build-up. You see, the way you build up to... He had paced himself to get to this point so that by the end of the season, he will be much fit because he would have put in at least 5 or 6 games where he had played at optimum, where he had played at much pace, and then he would enter the tournament with it. And it would be more than enough.
Mike, is a half-fit Gyan better than the rest of the strikers we have?
That's a hard question.
I don't believe that. I've never believed that. But I'm going to try to answer your question with a few statistics in comparison to the other players. So you've got the under-23 striker Kwabenosu, who plays for Salamanca in Spain. The second-tier league. He scored 10 goals. Actually. Third-tier league.
Third tier. Salamanca. Spanish third division.
Yeah, but he's played for the under-23 team, the Olympic team, and he scored 10 goals. You've got Kalebe Kuban, who plays in Turkey. 8 goals this season. The next person in line is Majid Waris, Nantes in the French top flight. He's got 7 goals. Asamoah Gyan has 5.
Wow.
Asamoah Gyan has 5 in about 18 games.
Jordan
has more goals than Jordan Ayew.
But Jordan has way more minutes.
Exactly. Jordan, who scored 1 league goal and then I think scored 1 in the cup.
Wow.
So, from a purely footballing reason, he's going to be there. The other thing is that, like Akoto said, you can be injured for long spells. But if you're fit towards a tournament, you're fit. It's not as if you carry the residue of not being.
So if Gyan is fit, he's the best striker we still have?
If Gyan is fit, he is.
He's in a good position to contribute.
If Gyan is fit, it's difficult to take him out of the team.
Why?
The other thing is that, because really, I've spoken to you about these numbers. Plus the other thing
But he's older than all these guys, though.
Yes, but the other thing is that you do an aggregation of the qualities everybody brings to the team. Age is a factor, yes. Goals that you've scored, fitness level, experience at the highest level. Would you, if a player's popped up and scored 20 goals this season and Gyan has 15, and you had to make a decision between them, you will use the number of goals scored.
But then you also use experience. But if you look at the game, look at the teams in England now. Alexander Arnold is 19. the Liverpool back four, they are all below 26 years old.
Yes.
The game is faster these days. They are
The game
more
is
youthful
faster.
players.
Exactly.
Can he cope with that?
What did Manchester City do in their biggest moment of need? They pulled out a captain who had not played for much of the season and played him in the biggest games that mattered.
I get you.
And you could tell the difference. So
that Agos shot he scored again.
Yeah,
so if he's available, he's fit, and I think you can clearly see from the decision Appiah made. I don't understand this whole general captain thing. I can't understand.
I'm told it was there from Stephen Appiah's time. That Stephen Appiah was the general captain.
Actually, not.
It's not true.
Corrected me yesterday.
It's not true.
Stephen was a captain, and he had a deputy, which was John Mensah. Stephen was not playing. Effectively, we took Stephen to the 2010 World Cup as a thank you gesture. Mm-hmm. And then he came in in one
against
game.
Uruguay.
But he was the substantive captain of that team. He was.
So John Mensah was the deputy captain.
Exactly.
So there was no general captain issue.
Actually, there was Michael. Richard Kingston
Yes.
was the general captain of the team.
Yes. But you
So
see,
general captain Onukpa.
but it was never an issue.
Because
Yes.
Kingston, Charlie.
Because Kingston, you see, the problem was that Kingston had never been captain of the
The
Black
Black
Stars.
Stars.
The problem is in 2013 when Appiah made Asamoah Gyan captain
Yeah.
and John Mensah general captain, John Mensah didn't go to the tournament
Because he was
at all.
injured.
So he was not. There was nothing.
There was
like
no
the
issue.
Yeah. In this case, guy is going. He's prepared himself. If I had my way, this should have been like 2010. You go. He's not starting games. Everybody's happy. Life goes on.
So he's still the captain. The person who gets on the pitch captains. So then they will still be the captain. So there was no need to even rock the boat in the first place.
I don't think so.
So then it's the coach's fault.
Not necessarily, because the coach has a responsibility and a right to pick and choose his personnel the way he deems fit.
Okay.
But you see, there's also a danger in this. And Asamoah's track record shows this. The likelihood of him going there, not being captain, not playing, and being upset, and still throwing a tantrum during the tournament also exists.
Is it?
Yes. And we've seen that several times. Some we don't
It's
report.
actually the biggest likelihood.
Some we don't report.
People, you haven't been fair to us.
But it happens all the time.
No, but you
So
remember,
sometimes for team harmony,
Yes.
you the sports journalists don't report some of the trouble in camp.
it's normal.
It's normal,
Because
yes.
in a tournament setting,
You don't want to.
in a tournament
you need to
setting, we are
focus.
more than journalists.
You are part. That's why you celebrate the goals more.
I've not been in a single press box where journalists don't celebrate goals. Number one rule. You should see the English journalists getting all worked up if they lose a game. So, but we try to be as professional.
You are professional fans.
Exactly, sort of. But in 2010, we did reports when Milovan Raiva threw out Suleiman Tari. There were some of the things you wouldn't report. Everything is about balance, but this is going to be a real test of Kwesi Appiah's leadership. It's also going to be a test of Asamoah's leadership.
There was a time
test
where
of
people were
leadership.
saying Kwesi Appiah was not favoring the Ayew brothers, and the media started talking about Kwesi Appiah's issue with their father. I remember 92. Kwesi Appiah was the captain. Mm-hmm. Then one coach made Abedi the captain. And there was a lot of issues there. They said they were the professionals. So Kwesi Appiah, Yeboah Prince Poli. Abedi, Yeboah Prince were the professionals and the locals and all of that. So some people for a long time thought Kwesi Appiah had a problem with the Ayew brothers. So for him to now appoint Andre as his main captain came as a shock to some people.
And I think also the personality of Andre has made potentially this conversation, this change, a little more difficult for people to take on. Because whether we like it or not, he's having to deal with a lot of the backlash against his father in his own personality. There is a perception issue, there is a long-term standing issue, and it's generally affecting me. But I get your point. You see, the problem with Kwesi Appiah, I think, and I speak as somebody who know him very well, is that there's too much misconception. There's too much sense that people think they know what's going on with him. When in a lot of cases, they don't know. For instance, we speak of a coach who didn't have the balls to make any major decision. Taking off your captain before a tournament is making a major decision.
It's a major decision.
Now, we can have a conversation about the prudence of it, whether it's the right thing to do in the moment.
So he's not as indecisive as we portray him
Exactly.
to be.
We can have our concerns, and we used to remember this famous nickname, the silent killer. And I have been with Black Stars players who, for a lot of the time, have no idea what he is going to do. So that sense of
He's very
uncertainty,
unpredictable.
Exactly. That sense of uncertainty exists within it. I've been
So,
with
so
him.
let me give you. So a lot of different coaches have. Some coaches are feared, some are loved. What kind of emotion do the players have towards him?
I think I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost this sense that you are not sure what you will get.
Nobody has him in his pocket.
No.
So
as for that, you can be
nobody
guaranteed.
has him in his pocket.
No. That's one of the, and I get a bit worried. See, this is a man who is earning about $30,000 a month.
So he's well paid.
Exactly.
He doesn't need anything from the players.
This is somebody who's told players who've bought him gifts, take it away. He's not just well paid, he's got well-connected friends. Somebody who is on phone call terms with the President of the Republic. Being national coach exposes him to a network of influential people. He doesn't need the money of footballers because he's a footballer himself. He knows what's going to happen.
You see, and also, frankly,
a lot of
footballers are not that rich.
Frankly, a lot of these players are angling for the Black Stars because
they need
better
it's also
contracts.
become a financial plan.
Yeah.
So every time I hear people say, how much would a player give Kwesi Appiah? This is, somebody who had a huge contract in Sudan, came back, gets well paid. Do you imagine the benefit he gets? He also earns twice the bonus of every player.
Hey.
So if he's going to take... As for money. So if he's going to take... How much is he going to take from you to put you in the team when if he wins a game, he's going to get twice what
Let's
he's going to get?
talk about the team. Godfred, walk me through. If you
All right,
guys have
the
the image. So we have 29 provisional.
Yeah, let me walk you through this quickly. So for the goalkeepers, no shock there. There's a local goalkeeper, Kumasi Santekoto Felix, and he's the best goalkeeper we have locally. But no changes there. Mubarak Wakaso has... Let me go to the defenders.
No, keeper, Lawrence Atizigi, who's that?
Lawrence Atizigi has been the second choice keeper for about a year now. Consistently.
For Black Stars.
Yes.
Where does he catch?
He's in Sochaux. He's not a regular. He got a run of games in December.
Substitute keeper?
Yes.
Who is Felix Annan?
Felix Annan is Kumasi Santekoto's goalkeeper. Very good young goalkeeper.
Is Richard Ofori in South Africa?
Yes.
I've seen him in a few games.
Richard Ofori is...
considered one of the best goalkeepers there.
So he will start?
Yes. He's the best goalkeeper
Undisputed.
we have.
Defenders?
You have
John Boy is still there?
Yes. It's good to see Baba Rahman back after the horrible experience.
Where is he playing now?
Baba Rahman is on loan at Stade Reims in France.
Reims, yeah.
Is it a first Ligue 1 team?
Yes, he's a Ligue 1 team.
Does he start?
Yes. Since he left in January, he started.
John Boy, where is he?
John Boy is in France, played for the best defense. John Boy, you know that John Boy, there's a love-hate relationship about John Boy. The thing is this. He's with the Ghanaian public. But the thing is this, he led a very strong Mets team back into the Ligue 1. It was the best defensive performance in that division for almost 2 decades.
And he plays well for the Black Stars, even if he doesn't get games.
Not really, but he's experienced.
So he's a central defender.
I think he's
experienced.
I think he's bogged down by this image of casing the money. But there's a player who's played 42 games for club level.
The so-called John Boyer.
He got into the team of the season in League.
But I'm worried by how he gets jitters during games.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the thing. So that's John Boy.
There's John Boy. There's Lumo Agbenyan, who has made the left back position his own in the absence of Baba Rahman.
Where does he play?
Lumo Agbenyan is on loan in Turkey with Göztepe.
First division?
Yes, he plays regularly.
Who is Andy Yadom?
Sporting Lisbon player too.
Sporting Lisbon player on loan. Andy Yadom plays for Reading. Recently voted fans player of the year. Comfortable playing right back, left
I think
back.
our best kept secret as well.
Andy Yadom.
Yes, he plays the
I think
English
he played
Championship.
in the last Nations Cup
as well.
Quick.
Very quick. Yeah.
Good going forward.
Very. Last AFCON, we played him at left back for quite a bit of time.
And then right back in the game against
Young.
Egypt.
Yes.
Who is Kasim Nuhu?
Kasim Nuhu is a centre back who plays in the Bundesliga at the moment with Hoffenheim. On form, he's the best centre back.
Hoffenheim is elite first division.
Yes.
Kasim Nuhu.
Yes.
Jonathan Mensah, we know him.
Yes, we know
Where
Jonathan
does he play?
Mensah.
France?
No, Jonathan Mensah right now is in the US with Columbus Crew. I'm surprised he made this team.
Regularly gets to play?
He's been a mixed bag for the past 2 seasons.
Joseph Edu?
Joseph Edu, alongside Kasim Nuhu, has been our 2 most consistent performers in the history. He's just won the Belgian league with Genk.
Who is Nuhu Musa?
Nuhu Musa is in St. Gallen, Switzerland.
But I think he just signed his ex-Wafa
He went on
as
loan,
well.
yes.
Ex-Wafa. So he's done the local league.
Yeah.
Who is Joseph Atama?
He's been around the national team setup from the junior national teams all the way up. Became a regular got a couple of call-ups. I don't say he's a regular. Got a couple of call-ups last
Where
year.
does he play now?
Plays in Turkey as well with Istanbul.
The orange jersey.
The team that finished second.
Yes.
Oh, in Turkey?
Yes, they lost the league on the last day of the season.
But you see, I think Atama is there because he provides
Cover.
an element of versatility across board.
So he can
He can
plays a right back,
play right
play
back, centre back, and
and-
defensive midfield as well.
So it's like our one of our Leicester defender is still injured.
Amate,
Yes.
yes.
And Duncan is not there.
And Duncan is having surgery at the end of the season.
He played so many matches in Italy.
Unfortunately, it would have been awesome to have Duncan. And
He played for which team? Is it Chievo?
Sassuolo. Yes.
Who else is on the defensive list?
On the defensive, then we
Mohamed
have
Alassane.
Yes, he plays for Accra Folk.
Local guy.
Yes, he's a very good defender.
Good player. Midfielders,
Mubarak Wakas, everybody knows. Thomas Partey, everybody knows.
both in Spain.
Yes.
Kojo Asamoah, Italy.
Kojo Asamoah being listed as a midfielder worries me. And
What is he?
Kojo Asamoah is a defender.
No.
He is.
He's a midfielder for
Calm down.
Ghana.
But he's played as a defender for the last 5
for
years.
5 years.
The Italians don't know him. We know him better.
No, but he made his name as a midfielder in Italy. Kojo Asamoah, the season he left Udinese to Juventus, had the best 1-2 partnership with Alexis Sanchez. That was the best midfielder attacker partnership in the Serie A that season. Went to Juventus and was moved to wing back. 5 seasons. He's a specialized defender now. I don't know how.
But have you noticed that when he goes forward, he gives some good passes?
But Akoto, you understand why?
In Ghana, he's a midfielder.
No, Bernard.
I don't get why he sees
in
himself
Ghana-
as a midfielder
in
these
Ghana,
days, honestly.
No, but he actually sees himself as a
Obobolo.
defender now. In Ghana, he's a defender.
What are you saying?
He's actually a defender now. You cannot play for 5 years, train at left back and everything, and say.
So you think he forgets how to play in midfield?
No, he doesn't. But you can.
But you've
understand
lost
the thinking.
something. You see, the
only
instincts are different.
The only problem is that for Kwesi Appiah, the options are left back because Lumo is very good.
Yeah. Luma Gonyenu is not spectacular, but
And-
defensively he's sound.
And I'm thinking of a midfield where
Can he play defensive midfield?
Who?
Kojo Asamoah.
he can.
He can.
So
can.
take him along.
He can.
Okay, so
Let's
you have
go back.
Kojo Asamoah. Ebenezer Ofori. Ebenezer Ofori is interesting because Ebenezer Ofori is the one who frees Partey. If you watch Partey's best performances for the
For
Black
Ghana.
Stars, he's always had Ebenezer Ofori beside him.
So he's a destroyer.
A very disciplined
Linked
player.
player.
Where does he play?
He plays in the US with New York City. He's a very good recycler of the ball, kind of like your Jorginho.
Okay.
Okay.
Who is Ofrio? We know Ofrio Aqua.
Yeah, with the Free Aka.
Where does he play now?
Free Aqua is with Empoli.
Italy is still good for
Yes,
him.
yes.
He gets
He
game
actually
time.
scored over the weekend.
Good, yeah.
Andrea, you will know. Is it
Cristiano.
Fenerbahce?
Yes.
Yeah. But he's had a torrid season.
Yes,
The
he-
numbers say he's played over 20 games.
But his performances have not been the
He's
best.
had a very difficult.
What's happening?
I spoke to a journalist from Turkey on Tuesday, and he was like, "Look, this your Andrea. No.
What's happening? Should he go back
No,
to France?
it's not his fault. It's not just his fault. Fenerbahce this season were really bad. Recruitment didn't go
Finished
too
11th
well.
actually.
They had the former Liverpool keeper.
Yeah, everything was bad. Philip Koku made too many quick changes with the team and lost the team.
Should
very
Andre
early.
go back to France?
I think so. I
Because
think Andre
this
will
is his
thrive
home.
back in Marseille
They will accept him.
Yeah,
Could even
easily.
make him captain.
easily.
They love him there.
Which he loves to.
They love him there. So Andre, but as you say, Black Stars is different.
Yeah.
So that's Andre. Then there's Christian Achu. Great game against Liverpool. I
Yes.
hate him. He almost
Yeah.
destroyed our.
And then Samuel Owusu. Samuel Owusu is a new one. He plays for Kukariki in the Serbian league. But the thing about he's
Kukariki.
Kukariki.
Kukuru Vijaya.
Kekeni Vijaya.
A winger with what, 10 goals?
10 goals, 13 assists.
Kukariki.
Very, very quick. Left-footed. And then
10 goals, 13 assists.
yeah, he's a very strong
Samuel
player.
Owusu. Okay, who is Thomas Ejepon?
Thomas Japan, I'm surprised made this team, but he's a personal favorite of
But you know,
Messi.
he's related to Akoto. I didn't know.
He's a relative.
Let's move on. But I'm surprised he made the team.
Oh, was he in Liberty?
No, he was not. He's a right to dream boy.
He went to Europe very early.
He's and
Where does he play now?
he's in Hibernian, former Manchester City academy
In
player.
Scotland.
He's lightning quick, and Kwesi Appiah likes him for that.
But I like him. I think
Yeah,
that's
he's very
something-
direct.
I think
Very, very
I
direct.
think if he's fit, that boy
He'll
has
start
to be in
games.
that team.
If he's fit, he'll start games.
So he's direct. He will run at the
Yes.
defenders.
But the thing is this: he's also
I don't
a
like the
player
final
who,
product though.
in the last month, has also started gaining much fitness, but has played very little games.
I'm not
this
seeing
season.
Adoma in the list.
Yes, he
didn't.
didn't,
Adoma
make
did
the squad.
play
He had
for
a very
Villa.
good season, but he didn't make the squad.
Wow.
Adoma is not a Ghana player, I should put it that way. He just doesn't do well for the national team.
Let's go on. Let's wrap up quickly on
Yeah.
this. Then you have Yao Yaboa.
You have Boa Numancia
Spain.
in Spain in the second division. He started the season well, has petted off a bit. I'm still surprised.
Where is the guy who scored a hat-trick against Barcelona who went to China?
He made the team.
What's his name?
He didn't. Emmanuel Boafo didn't.
Oh,
not too surprised.
He scored a hat-trick against Barcelona.
But he started poor season.
With a face mask.
He started a very poor season. He's
lived up that hat trick for a very long time.
How many people in the world have scored a hat trick against?
He lived up to for last season. This season we can't allow.
He's in China making money now.
Yeah, they're fun.
And let's wrap up the midfielders quickly.
Yes.
The last one.
So Abdul Fattah Safiu is with Kumasi Asante Kotoko has enjoyed a very good campaign in Africa and locally.
Dead ball specialist.
Great. Yes. We know the strikers. When we come back, we are going to talk about our chances. We are facing Cameroon, Guinea-Bissau, and who? Benin. And the tournament is expanded. AFCON is a notoriously tough tournament. And for some reason, the Black Stars since 1982 have not made it. Could this be our year? We'll also read your messages. Stay with us.
Travel the country in just 30 minutes on the U-Tour bus.
I'm just coming from the home or from the palace of the New Yana. This is our story being told. Today we are reaching you from Agotima.
Journeys to explore.
From the plains to the greens to the scenery to everything. There's so much we need to do, to boost tourism around this area. That guy was just getting up.
Learn and indulge in the culture and lifestyle of the people. U-Tour shows on City TV every Saturday at 1 p.m.
We spice up your mornings with culturally enriched conversations, social interviews, and policy-oriented discussions that will keep you updated on the progress of the nation. Let your voice be heard with the hashtag #BreakfastDaily.
It's actually a good thing and healthy to be okay in your own skin. Not because you don't have the options, but it's also healthy to be able to say, listen, I'm going to the movies by myself. I'm going to the restaurant by myself.
Join us for Breakfast Daily, only on City TV. Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10.
Welcome back. This is a point of view. Tonight we're discussing football. The Black Stars are getting ready. The list was released earlier today after a lot of hours. So Asamoah Gyan resigned, he retired, he rescinded, he's been reinstated, and he's probably going to redeem us to win the tournament. Lots of questions coming through. So Nana is asking, AFCON and Copa America will be played at the same time. Which is a better tournament?
AFCON.
It's a bigger tournament now. How many teams now?
24.
Is it better for that?
I don't know, but sometimes those of us who have the privilege of watching it every day and playing it don't want others to come in. This has meant a great deal to countries like Kenya, Tanzania, Burundi,
Uganda,
who are making their
So it's going to be tougher.
So it's going to be
because
tougher.
now the matches. I recall when 10 years ago, if Ghana had a group that had Rwanda or something, it was a walkover.
Yeah.
These days, it's not like that.
Yeah, these days a lot of teams can put out decent squads because football has gone all over the world. So we might face a Benin, and Benin will put out a team that has Steve Mounier.
You remember Sessignon?
He's still playing, in fact. You understand? And you ask yourself, well, isn't this the guy watching the EPL?
So it's going to be harder to win the tournament for any team.
So. You have to be at your best.
But even straight away, you're playing at least one more game.
Yeah. You have to qualify rounds now.
Deputy captain, general captain, team captain, interesting mix. Asamoah Gyan, with all due respect for ones, didn't show professionalism. Captaincy doesn't play football or score goals. Gyan is our all-time leading scorer and also in the World Cup and as far as Africa is concerned. But these achievements don't make him a legend to me. This is Evander inside Achimota. Bernard, Asamoah Gyan has done his bit for our national team. He should just bow out as stated in his letter. He has had all the opportunities to win this Nations Cup and now that he's worn out, he's here fighting for captaincy. You should just spare us. This is Kofi Hobson. Hey, Bernard, the truth is, Baby Jet was expecting Ghanaians to be sympathetic towards him. But when the public accepted his resignation, and he realized that he has lost his relevance, hence his U-turn. I don't think the president had much of an influence on it. He is still general captain. This is K in Accra. Journalist Albert in Soto, Asamoah Gyan can only be relevant to the team for this particular AFCON, but I doubt if his services will be needed after the tournament. However, the importance of Gyan cannot be overemphasized. He is a hero in his own right. # point of view. Bernard, I'm of the view that Baby Jet is merely reacting to the truth that this is likely to be his last AFCON. People have standards and goals in life. I'm sure he wants to retire as the captain of the Black Stars. What is wrong with that? He wants his name written in the annals of the Black Stars as captain. Also, it's been alleged that Prophet TV Joshua has prophesied and that Dede Ayew captaincy this time, Ghana will be champion. So I'm still one of Gyan's spokespersons has been saying this too.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate.
How many spokespersons does Gyan have?
Officially, the person who speaks for him is Obing Kweku Andy.
And he said this?
Yes, that was. And then his manager is Sami Animado.
Has Sami spoken?
Sami issued a press statement today, and then he was at a seminar, I think later in the afternoon, and said a few words to one journalist, Muftar, where he said Asamoah Gyan was happy.
Kwesi from Kumasi wants to know from you, will the substantive captain hand over the captain's armband to the general captain when the latter comes onto the pitch?
The reason why it is called general captain and substantive captain doesn't hand over the armband.
So general captain is just captain in the background?
Yeah.
How many teams in the tournament this year? 24?
24.
Who are the favourites?
The usual suspects. Egypt are playing at home. Every time they play at home, they win. Then you've got the likes of Morocco.
They even win in Ghana.
Yeah. So you've got Morocco, Algeria, Senegal. I think Egypt, because of home advantage, are pegged at that level. Yeah. When I look at the other countries, Senegal and the rest, I'm not sure.
You've got the defending champions,
exactly. Cameroon. But Cameroon with the African environment a bit. Then you have us. I don't think we'll be favourites, but I've learned something. I never underestimate Ghana in a tournament setting.
But we've been the most consistent team since 2006.
Exactly. But you want the consistency to translate into something else.
But you need to get into the final four to win it.
Yeah.
So if you always get there, it means you are a favourite.
And we've played in 2 finals as well. Yeah. So we can have all our concerns about the team build-up and everything, even though I think this build-up really puts us in a spot of bother. But my hope is that players like Asamoah, Thomas Partey, Christian...
Who is our best player now?
Thomas Partey by country.
What is his position?
He plays as an attacking midfielder. But you've also got Asamoah. Because in terms of the sort of seasons they've had, I hear a lot of people speak about Partey because maybe they watch a bit more Spanish football.
And it's also because he's an offensive player.
Exactly. But it's actually been Asamoah. More consistency, better games. There's just a certain level of...
But he's slow.
Not really. You know something? Everybody should go back and watch the World Cup in Brazil again. Asamoah was our best player at that World Cup.
Yeah. Really?
Yes.
So Asamoah and Partey are the 2 key players.
And I think what Kwesi Appiah will do will be to figure out a way of playing the 2 of them.
All of them are the same
team.
In the midfield?
I think so.
Who will be the main striker? Jordan?
I don't think he should be.
Who will be?
He's not potent enough to see you through an AFCON as your lead striker.
But it's hard working, isn't it?
Yes, but that is not what you need. Goals. You need goals.
But goals can come from anywhere.
You see, that's the other advantage with the Black Stars is goals have been spread around.
So who will be the main striker?
I actually think it will be Jordan.
But I also do. I hope it is
because
not.
Because apart from Gyan, he's the most exposed striker in the team.
I hope it is not.
What about Waris?
Waris has become more of a support striker these days, and Waris 3 years ago was the next big thing in the Black Stars. Injuries have taken a toll. He looks like he has found his confidence again, but he can't start.
My problem with Waris is that he doesn't
inspire.
Yeah, he's never provided goals in the quantum that you need. But you see, you're going to go to an AFCON. Dede Ayew, 18 goals in his Black Stars career. 14 actually. 8 of those 14 goals have been scored in Nations Cup.
So he knows how to step up for the big occasion.
Level with Asamoah Gyan in terms of how many to score. 2 of the other goals have been scored in World Cups.
And he's won a World Cup for us.
So he's scored about 70% of his goals.
At AFCON.
He won the 2009 under 20. Where was it played?
Egypt.
Yeah.
And it's 10 years. Yeah. Prophet in a dim keke. Oti Adjei, great to have you. Micheal Oti Adjei is a sports journalist with TV3 and other places. Godfred Akoto, Boafo, my head of current affairs. My name is Bernard Avle. We hope you've enjoyed it. Good night.